with recruiting well in hand, the Auburn Tigers set to hit the field February the 27th, and we'll get a chance to see where these recruits, how these guys stack up, especially the guys, the early enrollees. That's one of the advantages of the early enrollee, is they get a chance to go through spring practice and get a head start on some of the players who will be coming in this fall. Now, among the players who will be coming in this fall is Kameron Brown. Kameron Brown is actually the brother of Derrick Brown, the great defensive tackle for Auburn, who decided to come back for his senior year because he felt like there was some unfinished business with the Auburn Tigers and that stout defense that they're going to have coming back, mainly because of his return. Now, I'll go out on a limb. I think Derrick Brown's return is going to be huge for the Auburn Tigers. But back to Kameron Brown. Kameron Brown, same high school as his brother. Definitely not the highly touted recruit that his brother was, but a diamond in the rough nonetheless. Now, when I look at Derrick Brown, he played for Lanier High School, the Lanier Longhorns. They made a little noise in the 6A playoffs. And I'm going to tell you, this area where Lanier High School is around Beaufort, Georgia, is a very, very tough area to play in, a hotbed for talent. As a matter of fact, Auburn also was able to grab two other guys from this Gwinnett area, Kobe Wooten and Owen Pappo. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what I've seen on film of Kameron Brown. Now, Gus Malzahn describes this guy as kind of like Deshaun Davis. I was like, yada, yada, here Gus goes again. But when I look at this young man on film, he really does. I mean, he's very gritty like Deshaun Davis. He likes that point of attack in the middle of the line of scrimmage. He likes to fight through defensive linemen to get to the running back, and he gets the running back head on. Very good technique in that center of the football field. Now, one thing I'm a little concerned about, which is probably why he wasn't heavily recruited, is he doesn't have like a great deal of range outside of the tackle box. Okay. His angles, he usually has to take wider angles because he doesn't have quite the speed to kind of get him at 10, say 5-6 yards instead of 15 or 20. Because if you see him on film, he's kind of chasing some guys. Now that's one good characteristic though, is that he doesn't give up on the play. But as far as angles, he's going to have to target his angle a little bit closer to the 5 to 6 yard range, 7 yard range, instead of, it wound up being about 20 yards down the field. But the effort is definitely there. But I love his point of attack game. That's something that he's going to have to work on once he comes to Auburn, especially if he plans on playing that Mike linebacker position. Now, do I ever think that Kameron Brown is going to be like an elite linebacker at Auburn? Probably not, unless he develops. He really, really develops on a high level. But again, a very serviceable player. And what a lot of people don't get about this recruiting thing, yes, you do want 5-star recruits. You do want 4-star recruits. At the same time, if things don't work out for those guys, a lot of times it's a lot of grumbling in the locker room. It's a lot of, man, I should have, especially with the transfer portal being as it is, it's a lot of, man, I should have went somewhere else. All of those different things, but you get a diamond in the rough like Kameron Brown, who was only recruited by Chattanooga, you know what I'm saying, coming to Auburn. He will have that level of appreciation and that level of work ethic and that level of, hey, man, I got to really make this happen. That blue-collar mentality that could actually translate into someone like Deshaun Davis, because he has access to a very good coach in Travis Williams. And one thing about Travis Williams is Travis Williams was kind of sort of in his shoes, being somewhat of an undersized linebacker, being somewhat of a linebacker that didn't possess the physicality of, say, a Takeo Spikes or even what we're about to see in KJ Britt. But Travis Williams had which is why he's a linebacker coach now. Travis Williams had a very innate intelligence for the game. And he had a very innate ability to utilize his talent and his stewardship of the game to make some really big plays for Auburn and be an all-SEC linebacker for Auburn in that 2004 undefeated campaign for the Auburn Tigers. So Kameron Brown, I really think, is a very solid recruit. I mean, is it a home run recruit as far as the media goes? Not really, but at the same time, he's a guy that can develop. He's a guy that can come in hungry and really make some impact at Auburn. Now, where do I think he'll probably play? I think he'll probably play. I can see him kind of on, probably not tall enough to play on the defensive line, at 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? I not in that interior. I really like him at that buck linebacker position, perhaps, especially if he can pick up a little speed. I can see him playing reserve at that Mike linebacker position. So I think he's going to be a very serviceable player for the Auburn Tigers. And I think it's a pretty decent, a pretty fair pickup in the recruiting trail. Pretty easy pick because no one else was really recruiting him. Surprisingly, none of the smaller schools in the Georgia area didn't recruit him, like, say, West Georgia, Kennesaw State, and even Georgia Southern. I'm kind of shocked that they didn't give this kid a look. All right, so once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speaks Sports. Mostly talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. Want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang. Spring football is coming up very soon. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the little bell on the subscription so that you can be notified whenever I come on with some content, mostly about Auburn. We'll start doing some things with Georgia and Alabama. You all take care and see you at the next video.